Hello everyone and welcome back to Dungeon Lunch Break, what the monsters do when they're not fighting you. I am the Bearbard and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Tanner the Drake.
Sup?
Loot Goblin.
I will remain ad-friendly for the first minute.
Thank you.
And yeah, man, we can't be talking about every time.
Son of a...
I feel like we gotta figure out a way to like fit it in every time now. No.
I don't think we have
Advertiser
to. I think that is. I think that's quite optional.
And then finally, Zill.
I am probably not going to be ad-friendly for the entire episode, minus the first minute.
Okay, cool. So at least nobody mentioned illicit drugs in this first 60 seconds, probably.
Correct.
Except for the person who said the things.
Except for the hoe.
Except
said
for the what? Except for the what?
I said host,
Garden
but it's like
tool.
we're all the hosts, so it is what it is. So cool. Yeah, this week we have actually, I'm pretty excited for it. A pretty fun concept. We have 21-minute dungeons, and I'm going to pass that off to the Tavern Keep himself to talk about them.
Yeah, so basically we each, before recording this episode, took 21 minutes to create the idea for and map for a dungeon that you could just plop into your game, because we, like many DMs, have all been in the situation of, oh shit, I have D&D in 30 minutes and I don't have anything planned. So this is basically all of our attempts at throwing together a last-minute dungeon for a game, and when it's all said and done, we're going to take our crazy short time ideas and turn them into actual like decent maps and like walkthroughs and such, so you guys can download them off of our Patreon and put them into your games.
Or you can
I'm
keep my
already
chicken
like an
scratch.
anxious wreck. So like putting myself in this position on purpose was not fun.
I know it's funny because we went over the concept. We're like, okay, guys, we're gonna come up with this and we're gonna record it. And I'm like, I'm gonna nail this. I genuinely like, and I don't feel confident about things like that, but I felt really good about it. And then I went full on into this saying I'm not gonna go any pre-planning, nothing. And I hit record. I'm like, damn, I have no idea what to do.
The
And
other
then
thing
How the
that
fuck do I hold this pencil?
the thing I find hilarious
Right.
too is we decided on this with like a week before recording. We were like, just sometime before the episode, give yourself 21 minutes to make this. We're not in a rush for that part, okay? You only have 21 minutes, but record it at any point. And every goddamn one of us waited until the last minute on the day of recording
I
to
didn't
get
make
it
that
done.
connection.
So it's
I mean,
very...
20
Oh my God,
21
you're
minutes just seems so doable to fit in, right before the session.
Mhm.
So it just was too easy to put off.
Yeah. So we not
I
only
was
did we
still
put
late.
ourselves in a time limit, but we also put ourselves very much in the shoes of, oh shit, I have a session in 30 minutes.
Exactly.
It is great because we all did it separately without talking.
Mhm.
We're just all that much of slackers that's how we did
Yep.
it.
Yep.
I would like to just to be a little fair. I almost did it yesterday, but I could not if you guys look in the chat, I posted my ghetto rig I made because I think the rest of y'all did it all digitally. I recorded mine physically,
Mhm.
and I could not get a good setup. So if you look at that picture, and I'll put it, we'll put it for everyone to see it. What you're looking at is my little camera. I have it on actually my mic stand with a separate jig that's just supposed to hold something light. That's actually because the screw didn't fit right. So I have the side separate jig that normally just holds my my recorder itself. That's like half the weight. I have that up there holding up the actual camera attached to the mic stand with my mic just sitting on top because I didn't have a good mount for it because my camera's facing downwards. You see there's a candle. The candle's actually counterbalancing my camera. So that whole camera is only being held up by what's essentially a $5 candle from Walmart.
Damn. Scented candles and wishful thinking. That's the Bearbard way.
Yep.
So that was my creative. That was the problem. Is I started getting it ready last night. I'm like, no, I'm too tired for this. And I went to bed, and then I got home. And I'm like, oh man. So yeah, we're all absolute slackers. So we have really truly embodied this challenge from a
Yeah.
holistic standpoint. We're all method actors today.
These are
no
quality.
pre-planning for us.
You're definitely going to want to run these in your home game.
Yeah, I think we used like all different tools as well. I know I use Canva actually. Fun fact, most of my videos were edited with Canva before I got a full-time editor. So
Fucking sociopath behavior.
For real. I did mine in Photoshop with a drawing tablet. So it was as professional as it could be while still being jank as fuck.
I did as well. I gave up. Mine's divided into like 3 different sections. You can tell where I gave up.
oh, it's literally the horse meme where it's like the beginning, the middle, and the end.
It actually is. You guys are gonna laugh when you see it. It actually is the horse meme.
I do have a question real quick.
You
too,
love this,
Bear, about your recording setup. Is the bucket of sand for you when you needed a like mental break from the dungeon, or was that a kids related thing?
That's
that's his
100%.
litter
My
box.
son was because so it's Teacher Appreciation Week, and that's in the background. You see that's the card he made for his with the glue and all that stuff. That's the card he made for his teachers. Very sweet.
Mhm.
He started on Monday, and he waited all week because he wanted it to be perfect. So it's very, very cute. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we have this kinetic sandbox just for different textures and stuff like that. And he doesn't use it. Then all of a sudden, he'll bust it out every like 6 months, get sand everywhere. And then put it away, like that cup next to it that's his water. He took a sip. He's like, it tastes like there's sand in here. I'm like, do you think you splashed sand? I didn't splash sand. I'm like, buddy, it's right next to a thing of sand.
That you
And
were
you taste
playing
sand.
with.
You probably
think he
splashed
was-
sand in that.
He was laying an accusation before you, dude.
Yeah.
He's very much he's in a bit of a guilt conflict. Not guilt. What's the word? He definitely he doesn't like to. What is the word? Now I'm tripping out. Of course, we're on recording. He's a bit
This
of
is
a
the
complex.
quality
It's like-
content
Yeah,
that
we'll
people
just
come
edit you
for.
saying something very smart in right
Yes.
here. We're definitely not
Yeah.
going to let you just go out and drive for the next 2 minutes.
But it's gonna be someone with a British accent. You're just gonna have like a voiceover. Like this is totally the Bearbard, and it's some British posh dude just saying
Couldn't
You're gonna
trump
get like
yourself.
a,
Socrates or
Mhm.
something.
"Are you mental?
You what, mate?
You fucking what?"
Anyway, for Peyton's
Potter.
sake.
Oh, yeah.
The
Oh yeah, this
podcast,
is a 21-minute dungeon video.
21-minute dungeons.
Have you ever been doing campaign prep and had an idea that you loved but you couldn't find the right map? Or has your session ever gone in a direction you haven't prepared for but want to provide a fun encounter that feels like it was planned all along? Describe is perfect as a tool to supplement and enhance homebrew campaigns and adventure books with its huge library of read-aloud text and film-quality ambience, sound effects, and music. Imagine a scenario where your party is supposed to be investigating a monster in the forest that is terrorizing the town, but an offhand comment you made about a goblin camp has the party captivated. Now you need to come up with a goblin camp on the fly or the party is going to be disappointed, and you don't know where to begin. If you use today's sponsor Describe, you can come up with a quick battle map, a great description, and the perfect ambient music. They'll think that you planned it from the start. Use Loot Goblin when selecting your plan and get a free 30-day trial on any of the plans. So you can take it for a spin for your next session and see if you found it helpful without any risk. Click the link in the description and check out Describe now.
All right, I think Loot's starting us off. Loot, if you want to send your stuff into the chat so we can review it as you go.
Yeah,
Oh,
let
hell
me
yeah.
let
Into
me
the
present it
gallery.
here. I guess that might be the best way to do it. Yeah,
It's
as you
already
can
so much
see,
better than mine.
I'm very good at drawing. That Minotaur took a lot of
It's-
time. I didn't just
Yeah.
take it from like clip art, basically.
It's gorgeous. I
But-
love it.
But I did.
You spent like 19 minutes on just the Minotaur.
Yeah, no, I totally just I slapped him in. I drew some notes too because I didn't know how to explain it. But basically, I wanted the setup to the dungeon to be a bit of a fake out. So originally they go in thinking they're hunting like a gorgon and like an actual like gorgon in Greek mythology, not those lame gorgons that are in the D&D
Mhm.
monster manual for some reason.
that
If you guys know what
pisses
I'm
me
talking about,
off.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah. So
And then the
basically,
actual Gorgon's called a Medusa. Which is
yeah.
her fucking name. That's not what
Yup.
she is.
Yup.
Anyway, and to explain your dungeon, I'm very interested.
So basically,
should
you
go hang
you
out
go
with the
in thinking you're
Frankenstein.
hunting a gorgon, and I mean there is a gorgon eventually in the dungeon, but the main thing is the walls are ever changing. It becomes very apparent very quickly if you pass the right checks that you're facing a minotaur that's in their lair, and that's why the walls are moving. But it starts off with like ambushes here and there. If you make it to what you think would be like the standard treasure room at the end of the labyrinth, you realize that this is like everyone here is a prisoner, and the treasure is just whatever's been confiscated from the previous adventurer group. And I misspelled prisoner, but since it was on video, I'm a Giga Chad. I'm never gonna, correct it.
Prisoner.
So that's just how it's spelled now. There's a lore reason why it's spelled like that, clearly. So it starts off with just the guy giving sneak attacks. You go into the second room. This is where you actually encounter the Gorgon.
It's got depth.
Yeah, damn.
This is where you start seeing the statues. What you actually expected, from the Gorgon. And you figure out very quickly that this is kind of a courtyard. It's important for prisoners to have healthy activity. This is running for your life from the Gorgon for 1 hour a day. If you survive, you're allowed to go back into the jail for the rest of the duration. And I didn't have a lot of time, so it got kind of shitposty. The walls move, so it's totally okay. That's the same wall pattern twice. Right?
Yeah. We can imagine.
As one does.
It's very theater of the mind. The lore behind the dungeon's more important than the actual situation. And then when you go in here, you're going to find a survivor from the previous adventuring group.
Jesus, Harry, what did you do? Arson.
You're an arsonist,
There's probably
Harry.
a good reason he's in jail. I like to think of the Minotaur as like he's going to be a reliable opponent. He's honor bound. There's a reason why he's locking people up. Of course, you need to free this guy, even though he's a degenerate criminal that deserves to be behind bars.
Mm-hmm.
And you were there to slay a Gorgon, so it really doesn't actually matter what you do with the Minotaur, but he's not going to let you get out of here willingly with the prisoner, so you're going to have to decide how you want to handle that situation. And also, you're going to be a prisoner yourself when you first go in there. What I thought was kind of interesting, obviously having two Greek mythology creatures is always fun together. It's a bit of a fake out, so you're going to prepare for the Gorgon, and then what you're going to doing in the encounter is essentially you're going to be trying not to make eye contact with them, but you're not really going to know where they're coming from because the Minotaur is going to be opening and closing the walls, so sometimes you're prepared and then suddenly you're eye to eye with them. So it's kind of just fusing their two gimmicks together to make it even more annoying.
So what I'm gathering from this so far, though, it's not just a fake out. This is a full-blown catfish. You go there expecting a snake woman, and you end up getting big, brutish Minotaur chasing you throughout the dungeon.
True. And
then Snake Woman.
Yeah, and then you get Snake Woman anyways, because he's using her as a tool. She's not exactly a willing participant necessarily. So it's one of those things that you're going to have to fight them either way. They might not even be on each other's side, so maybe that's something you can use to your advantage if you find a weird situation where you can put yourself between the two of them.
So this is like a malleable Alcatraz kind of situation with like everything moving around and like everyone inside being a prisoner.
Yeah, it's one of those situations.
Are you like actively fighting the Minotaur at the same time while you're going through, or are you trying to like avoid him?
I would say you could probably do a couple ways. He's going to try to keep his prisoner behind bars, so there might be an inevitable face-off. And obviously your reward, your gear is going to be like the previous adventuring party's stuff. The people who didn't make it against the Gorgon encounter previously. Right. And then
So what is the win condition then? Is it freeing the guy? Is it that you free and then that's you win the day, friendships or what we made along the way and all that stuff? Is like that the win condition, or do you free him and then?
In my mind, the setup is you're there to kill the Gorgon, so getting the Gorgon corpse, like proof of that kill, is definitely important. And then the wizard is going to have some reason why, some bonus if you actually do save him. But obviously, you can get the adventure gear as well from their previous party, and I tried to make it pretty open ended. Obviously, I only had 20 minutes. I couldn't decide between the two, so I just fused the two encounters together, I guess.
Let's be honest. The best loot out of this is the Minotaur skull that you get to mount on your carriage. So
that's true.
And that is a good thing to... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, the Minotaur skull is such like that's probably the lamest trophy to take. Is like, bro, you just killed someone's cow.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
okay.
Like, no, it was a Minotaur. I promise.
I promise. I swear
big
it was a
muscle cow.
Minotaur.
But yeah, no, that's kind of what I slapped together in 20 minutes, and a lot
I
of
love
it
it.
is just the story behind it. Obviously, I realized that I wasn't going to be able to draw a bunch of straight lines for a real dungeon, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to give the idea of moving walls.
Right. They don't have to be perfectly straight because they're not. They move. And
Exactly.
yeah. Well, I love it. It's
Honestly,
perfect.
this is art.
It's art.
I
Yeah.
would say, I think
Yeah.
the important thing to remember too, and probably say again, we had 21
minutes.
to do this. That's
Yeah.
it. And it really, like, it sounds like a lot. It did to me, but it goes by so fast.
Especially when you're
And
trying
all
to
of a
do like a
sudden, like-
write up or think up the ideas. It's like, this is not much time at all.
You know what? Honestly, the hardest part for me,
Exactly.
the hardest part was when I got actually excited about something. When I got into when I'm like trying to think, that's a little slower. But like when I'm like actually get into a part of my idea, all of a sudden you blink and like that was 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a quarter of my
Yeah.
time because I got excited about
Yep.
something.
Yeah, the nice thing too, I mean, this is, if you're doing theater of the mind versus like an actual grid map, the map, you're not going to have time necessarily to build out as much with the party,
Yeah,
but
so you
obviously
can
some of the
kinda just-
backstory, the intentions, you can keep
Yeah.
backfilling it as you're doing the session. You can
Right.
do a lot of improv for the rest. So as long as you have the core of the map ready, like the bare bones stuff,
Well, and
you
you
can always
could-
fill in the blanks.
The ever shifting walls is a perfect excuse to like just come up with whatever the current corridor or room looks like in the moment of the fight. Like, or if the party's going through, it's like, okay, so let's go through this door, and you're like, okay, this one looks like this, and you just draw it freehand without any planning ahead of time. And then if they leave and go back and the room looks different, they're like, hey, what? Why does this look different? It's like, oh well, the walls
Yeah.
change.
It's not
And-
because I forgot.
And it's one of those things too. Obviously, the only thing I knew for sure is like, all right, I want to have a previous adventuring party be the loot.
Mm-hmm.
We can keep one of them alive for a little bit of dialogue, so they're not just like facing some random shadow man until they figure out it's a minotaur.
Right.
Like, it's just one of those things where you give them just enough to work off, and then you can pretty much improv the rest of the dungeon, hopefully from there.
Like the
And-
environmental storytelling needs to be there.
Yeah, you need
Yeah,
at
what
least
could we-
those basic ones, because someone will ask you like even if you don't have the theme, like it's like, all right, so maybe it's like a Greek like labyrinth. You can kind of riff off that, but if you didn't even think of the theme and someone asks you a question, you're going to kind of be stumped if you don't have at least like the basic
Right.
vibe down.
And what
Yeah.
could be fun too is if you connect it so like maybe they worked with a party earlier, like in the campaign, and all of a sudden they could do, that the part of that loot could be linked back. Like maybe there's a symbol from one of them that you recognize. So all of a sudden, like, oh, that's actually
Right.
connecting back, or even their old part. If you did another game before, or some of those characters were, they had a character die before, someone that you can connect it back to their like your old campaigns, or just other people you've met along the way in this campaign. That'd be kind of fun too. So you can just connect more things outside.
What
Yeah,
if
no,
you
definitely.
go through and as you're like, you get to the treasure room and it's the loot of the dead adventurers and their bodies are in there too. And you turn around and the wizard that you let out of the prison cell looks exactly like one of the dead corpses. And then that's the actual boss fight because he was an evil wizard
Ooh.
who took the appearance of of like a good guy you were sent there to find.
Oh, I fuck with that. And there's like
Yeah,
ways
hit
you
him
could
with the
like
changeling
find out the
prisoner.
ruse before then.
Yeah. There's like subtle
It's
hints,
like little
especially
hints.
if it's someone
Perception
that you like
checks
met
and, yeah.
before, a court mage that you've had encounters with. And this prisoner, he says a couple things that sound like he's just making assumptions about one of your characters that aren't accurate, and the court wizard would know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
just
cool. I
missing
like that
a
idea a
very
lot.
basic aspect of the storytelling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool.
Well, I like it.
I rank it a. What are we ranking it?
Yeah, S tier. Thank you.
oh,
We're
wait.
doing another tier list,
S-tier.
boys.
Are we doing it
S-tier,
five?
Oh,
immediately.
God.
No.
It's another tier list, lads.
I'm giving it 4 mimic sandwiches out of 5.
Ooh, I like that.
Nice.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
All right, let's go to the second one. I think is that you, Den of the Drake?
Mr. Drake,
I believe that is me.
You're gonna
So
drop it
keep
like
the
it's hot.
horse meme in mind here.
Okay.
All right, I just put a PNG.
It's beautiful.
Honestly,
So,
especially when I show you mine, it looks pretty damn good already. I'm gonna be honest.
It's it's half of my 21 minutes was just like remembering how the fuck Photoshop works. Because like I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually went to school for this shit. So like I'm like formally educated and trained in like the Adobe suite. But that 21-minute timer started, and my
Lost it
previous 3 years of using Photoshop to draw thumbnails just went out the fucking window. Like patrons will have the opportunity to see me actually draw this thing, and half the time it's just me struggling to figure out how ellipses work.
Drake, what doth thou ellipses tell us?
So, with me, when I'm designing anything D&D related, I go with one of my 2Ds, my double Ds. It's either going to be dinosaurs or it's going to be dwarves, and dwarves won out again.
Love it.
Acceptable.
So the plot behind this dungeon is that there's a dwarf who goes by what's the name? I have it. Okay, I wrote it down. Give me a second. Dwarf. All right, that's gonna be his first name.
Dwarfaniel. I don't know.
There we go. We got Dwarfaniel Ironstorm. Boom. There it is. Dwarfaniel Ironstorm. The dwarf is dwarf, who thinks everyone else should reject humanity, become dwarf, become machine, and he has this giant warship. And because this is the RPG community, we all have a special place in our hearts for airships in the RPG horror story community. So this is the 3 decks of an airship here. So the dungeon starts by you the goal is you want to destroy the airship, and you want to kill Dwarfaniel, which is now his canon name, before he can arrive at his target and destroy it with the main guns of the ship. So it starts up at the very top, where the party has the opportunity to come up through this little blue space right here. That's kind of like the docking bay. And when they poke their heads up, there's going to be 2 dwarves to the left who are armed with on ballistas, and they are targeting that main thingy. So if you don't do your investigation to see what the defenses are, you're going to get a face full of ballista. So there's like a bit of a, I guess, investigating hooks to it, where you want to figure out what you're getting into before you just go and board this ship.
Right, you've got a stealth mission before the destruction mission.
Exactly. Like the idea is like I wanted to do Dwarf John Wick is kind of like the vibe I wanted to do it. Yeah, nice. Dwarf John Wick, which kind of gets into more John Wicky. So you go through, and if you do it stealthily, you might not even alert the 3 guards who are chilling in the barracks to the right there. So you go through, then to the left, you have your staircase that goes up to the 2nd floor, which is like the main like floor of the ship, like the crew deck kind of thing. So these little the red guys are dwarven engineers, which they're just going to be like your basic mages, but like reflavored to be all like steampunky. These little circles with little squares on them, those are like automated turrets. So when you come up through the hallway here, basically they're like little Gatling guns. They could also be dwarves with machine guns. They could be like dwarves with Gatling guns. It could be whatever the hell you want it to be to fit the setting.
Yeah, and, steampunk golems, whatever you want.
Exactly. So you come up through those stairs, and immediately you're getting shot at, and you got to like find cover. Your objective on this floor is to destroy those 2 big green guys right there. And I just realized that the top guy does not have actually any doors to get to it, so you got to bust through a wall because send the barbarian through the wall. The green things are just generic, either power crystals or they're like machines keeping like the thrusters running or something.
To get to its location, right?
Exactly. However,
it's a timed encounter in some way, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
There's like a
yeah. Because like he's on his way to go fuck shit up.
But I may have missed it. Is this going like bottom level of the ship to the top level, or is it like?
You're going bottom to top.
Okay, no,
Yeah,
so it is reversed. I was thinking- that's what I
now
was
that
asking.
I'm now that
That's what I was
you say it like that, that's not very intuitive the way I drew it.
That's what I was saying. Because I was thinking when you said that, you're like, oh, it's in order. I'm like, okay, cool. So bottom, middle, top. But no. So
All right, Peyton,
Yeah, you're
top
coming
one
in
is the
from
bottom.
flip it
There's like
upside
a-
down.
Yeah.
Flip it the right way.
just in case it didn't work.
Exactly.
Okay.
There we go. Now,
Okay, I'm with
perfect.
it, I'm
Thank
with
you,
it, I'm with
Peyton.
No, that'd be dope.
Um,
Because I mean, like, you could do a lot with that, especially like if it's in the air. You have all the whole element of like things going off to the side, things, if you lose control of something. Because like, sometimes these airships, like the bottom is just open, right? Like,
Yeah.
like you have the element where like there's landing gear stuff that falls to the bottom. So all of a sudden, like you mess up a athletics check or something like that, and all of a sudden you could be, or you lose stuff off the side. So that there's a lot of
Right.
like dynamic.
that big blue bit on the top one, that's just open air. It's kind of like
Yeah.
the idea of it. Somehow
Right,
the party
yeah.
like comes up the belly.
I thought it was a pool.
It's fucking
It's a-
Dorfaniel's just like swimming laps in his airship. Yeah,
with the
just a
Speedo,
flex on
like
him.
the tightest ass Speedo European.
Oh, you're wearing
C-string
like the
Speedo.
Borat suit.
I like the Drakathan, the Borat.
Yeah, last level. So you clear that level, and then you go up the little ladder in the center part, and that is where you face Dorfaniel himself in his command throne. Either side of him, he's got 2 of the automated sentries, and there's a bunch of bullshit to hide behind. I ran out of time.
Although
So yeah, that's like the boss fight.
Yeah, you love to see
The-
it.
the funny part though is you have all the stairs are on the back side, but so is his throne. So the stairs on the back would have to lead to the front.
The ladder in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. If I had more time, there definitely would be more like places where you can loot and stuff, and like rooms and like enemies. But like because we're simulating the oh fuck I didn't plan for this session, I think we did a pretty okay job. Okie doke. It didn't really turn out to be much of a dungeon, more like a 3-phase combat. But we we ball.
It's dungeon enough.
Yeah, and there's not like there's always going to be places for loot. I mean, you can always put it on the NPCs, or like you mentioned the barracks, and obviously there's like a room that he's in too. So like there
Yeah.
should be something of value laying around those 2 spots.
I just realized that the final boss where the ladder is, there's no entrance. So
Yeah,
you
you
just
just
bonk
gotta-
your head on the ceiling.
4
Hell
mimic
yeah.
sandwiches out of 5.
I'll take it. We're not going hungry. All right, up next, I think we got Barris Bardis.
All right.
Bardicus. Cool. All right.
That's your
So
Roman
yeah,
name.
I definitely like I turned on my camera. I was able to, y'all lucky, I was able to find blank paper because all I had was lined paper. I'm like, this is gonna be so hard to see. And then I could only find pencils because my son keeps taking all the pens out of my room for his homework, and then he loses them, and so it's a whole thing. But I was able to find a pen though, so I was able to find blank paper and a pen. So as much as this is hard to read and see, no erasing. It would have been even harder to
we
see
fucking
erasing.
commit.
Exactly. And so yeah, so I just as a little bit of a preamble too, I did talk my whole time I was doing my presentation, and so some of this stuff is in reference to what I was saying during the recording. So
Okay.
there's that. So I got 4. So I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna put 1 page at a time. I got 4 pages here. Okay.
Oh fuck.
So page number 1. This is where you enter the town. I wanted to start with the entrance to this
shit.
place. So you go into town. As you enter town, you got to do some sort of perception check. Either a perception check, or honestly, I would take passive perception. This town, it's a small town, middle of nowhere. There is a tavern as you walk into town. Because that's always what you have to do, the generic thing. It's late at night. You have to go to the tavern because, God forbid you do anything else. But they're going to miss the tavern because of the perception check. Again, I would probably do passive perception with it. They're going to go past that, and they're going to see some ghetto sign. If you look in the middle of it, there's a little arrow there that says Tav. It's going to be a really hokey sign that says Tav pointing that way. So they're going to go up Sorry, they're gonna go past there, and then they're gonna find this kind of like mid-tier tavern thing, right? They walk in, they're the only ones in there. They walk in, they said top left, that's the inside of the tavern, as you can tell by my great drawing. I have no drawing ability. They walk in, there is one gnome barkeep in there. This gnome barkeep is going to be very, very charming. And then he's going to have some tables off to the side, nice roaring fire. It's just going to be a very pleasant experience. It's kind of hard to tell, but I did a kind of an X-ray, so he's standing on a stool behind the bar, just so you know. That's how you know he's a gnome. Exactly.
Yeah, it's
So
like 5 feet
he's gonna-
tall. He's not tall enough without it.
Exactly. It's a gnome. He's what, 2.5 feet. So yeah, he's definitely standing on a stool. That's not important, but just so you know, he's on a stool. So you come in, and the party does their generic things like, hey, what's going on? Whatever. I need a room for the night. He's going to offer them, because he's bored, allegedly, that he's bored, so he's going to offer them a room for the night for free if they can answer his riddle. They said he's going to give him a room for free and food for free if they can answer his riddle. You're going to come up with the most bog standard first thing you Googled fantasy riddle. Not very hard. That's why you look at the top, it says standard riddle, because it's one standard riddle for one free night. Your guy's going to get it. I was being quick and my arthritis is killing me. Cool. So
Again,
yeah,
as
he's gonna
established,
do-
Bearbard is 65 years old.
It is true.
to be fair, I've had arthritis since I was like 6 in my hand. So
We could
Sounds
only
like that.
bring him out of the old folks' home for so long, so we only had 21 minutes.
my mush was getting warm,
Visitation
so we
isn't
had to
that
be quick
long.
about it. But yeah, so you're gonna take a standard riddle, have them they're gonna fill it out. They're gonna feel good about themselves and be like, wow, that ish was easy. Excuse me, whatever. So they get their free night. Then he's gonna be, tell you what, double or nothing. If you can answer another riddle, I'll give you something. Come up with whatever you want, some big prize, whatever. And because, adventuring parties are who they are, they're going to take the bait. They always take the bait. They're not going to just settle. So they're going to take the bait. It's going to be a hard ass riddle. Like, just find the most advanced riddle you could possibly imagine and double it and use that. And if you have someone that's really good at riddles, then do the Bilbo Baggins thing and what's in my pocket, which is not a riddle. I'm sorry, it's not a riddle, and it's stupid that he got away with it.
Now I just need like
I'm
an
just
orc
saying,
that makes you
it
hit
was weak.
yourself, and they
That
say,
was
"Why are
some
you
weak
hitting
shit
yourself?"
on Bilbo's side. I'm not a Gollum fan, but that was some weak shit on that side. Regardless, they're gonna get it wrong.
Controversial.
Is it though? Is that a riddle? So
I
once
want
they
to
fail,
give your dungeon some points for just like asylum wall scribble aesthetic. I think it's really cool. I like it a
Yeah, we're
lot.
only 1 and 2 so far. We haven't seen what the rest has entail.
Like
I say-
out
I-
of context here, like you just see all these symbols and then very hard riddle, fantasy roofied.
okay, we haven't got there yet. Cool. So yeah, they take that very hard riddle, they fail it. Cool. He's like, oh, no worries, guys. And I cannot stress how much this guy is just dripping with charm. One of your party members wants to sleep with him. I guarantee it. Or her. You can make it a her as well. Once he fails, again, yeah, that's fine. No worries, guys. Eat up. They take a bite. Boom. Roofied. But you can't say roofied because that's bad. So they're fantasy roofied. That's where that comes in.
Yeah, they were
They get fantasy
charmed.
roofied. Charmed.
Charmed.
Which is just fantasy roofing. Cool. Now I have 2 pieces of paper that I kind of go back and forth on, so I'm just going to post both of them. I'm going to show the overall map, and then I'm going to show the other screen as well. So I'm posting both of these pictures. You should be getting both of them at about now.
Is
Cool.
that a rubber ducky?
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to it. We'll get there.
Is that a boss fight?
Okay. So you're gonna start off that on the map, and I apologize, Peyton. You probably have to jump back and forth between these two or pull them both up. I don't care. You'll start off on the bottom left in the glade of I just woke up roofie.
Is that the official name?
It
Is
is
that what we're
now.
going
No, but it is now. It's now canon.
Yeah. I was gonna go with like
Not
Hangover
again.
Grove, but that works too.
So if you jump back into that second screen, you see on the top right, there's 2 trees. Those 2 trees represent the fact that you are in a forest. So you wake up in a like a dense forest, like a old growth rainforest, northwest here in the United States, kind of just moss on the ground,
Mhm.
thick forest. It's nighttime. It's not that cold, but it feels very it feels darker than it even is dark. You know what I'm saying? Like just really dense
Mhm.
forest. You wake up in each other's clothes. You're still you,
Okay.
your race, but you wake up in each other's clothes. And if you go back to the second thing, you see there's a sword and a staff and it's supposed to be a bow. It's very bad. And you have arrows going to each other. Your
Mhm.
characters have now switched classes.
Okay.
So
Oh,
essentially what
okay.
you can do is you can take and you can exchange character sheets. You're still you. Each person is still their own character.
But
But
your
they're
entire
taking
kit,
over the
everything is swapped.
clothes,
Do your
items,
stats stay the
everything
same?
switches over. No, everything. You are the other character, but you're still you. You're still even like so. If I'm a gnome barbarian, and I switch with you, who's a Aarakocra paladin, you're still Aarakocra. I'm still a gnome, but I'm now a paladin. You're now a
And
barbarian.
stats change. It's magic.
Right.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to make perfect sense. It's magic.
Again,
Like,
yeah,
I'm wondering if I'm like having to do paladin shit with a barbarian stat, because that might be actually kind
Why
of
don't you-
fun. Might be
it,
kind of
it
funny.
could be, but I kind of compensate for that a little bit too.
Okay.
Okay.
So at first you just wake up in each other's clothes. You don't know. You as the DM know that they are switched over. So you are fully the other classes now. So they wake up and you this is where you have a chance to kind of let them try it out, see what's happening. You know, if someone tries to cast a light enchantment, your bard tries to do dancing lights, he can't do dancing lights anymore because he's a different class. And so you can throw like a small encounter, like not like a real one, but like a womp rat type thing,
Right.
Whatever.
Just for
hell
them
womp
to
rat actually is.
learn the shit.
Exactly. Like all of
Yeah.
a sudden your barbarian's like, holy shit, that was a fireball. You know what I'm saying? And you can kind of play around.
I
with
would
that a
like
little
to
bit.
rage and accidentally cast fireball centered on self.
So honestly, yeah, you could
That
even
would be
have that. Have
great.
some sort of like cross skill, like decide ahead of time if they try to do this skill, this is what will happen.
That'd be cool. I
Something
like
to
it.
that effect where you can play with that. So, but they're gonna all switch, but the clothes will just switch. So they'll fit each other, but all of a sudden, if you have like a female sorceress with like if you had someone that got kind of like that kind of an outfit, your golem barbarian that was your golem barbarian is now wearing that same sexy elf outfit that and is now the mage. So their clothes are just going to
Hilarity
straight up switch to
ensues.
each other. Exactly. As one does, So they wake up, they kind of groggily trying to find their way out, and they're going to start going up the path, come on down, and they get to their first opening, and that is going to be a fight. So if you go back to that second screen where you have like it you really can't tell what it is, but those are supposed to be 2 large trees kind of coming down.
Okay.
And you're gonna have fighting. I want this to be a bunch of swoopy stuff, and I say that in the video. That's what the arrows pointing down are from the top. I want like bat-like creatures, golem-like creatures, spectre potentially type creatures. So I want to play with the verticality of the trees here because these are very, very tall trees. So you're going to be dealing with different levels of swooping type creatures coming out of the trees, and then maybe I had something popping out. I joked in the video. I said, something popping out of the ground, out of the moss, maybe even a mossy. My little touch in there. So that's supposed to be a little mossy.
Is that a mossy down
But
there? Mr. Sunshine is a mossy.
That is a little mossy.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
a little heavy mossy.
That's good to know.
But but that represents like you come into this opening with these tall trees and you just have things swooping out of it. So that's going to be your first fight, and it's going to be you trying to figure out how to use each other's skills, And what I thought of is, depending on how mean you are of a DM, you could take this opportunity to have them try to learn each other's skills, and you could put some disadvantage rolls in there. Like, you're not really sure how to use this new power, roll with disadvantage. Maybe the first or second time, then they kind of get it. And so you can have these kind of spread out throughout this whole little area here. So it's not necessarily like 30 guys at once. They had a couple, they have a chance to figure it out. And then the next fight, they don't have disadvantage. But you can play around with that forcing them to kind of learn each other's roles for a little bit.
This is something that could be kind of cool from this. Like if you, depending on the kind of game you're running, if you were doing like a really high fantasy, high magic, high power type deal, a kind of interesting, unique reward out of this could be, and not to jump too far ahead, but like when/if they get back to normal, they each get one level in the class that they were like having to learn on the fly how to be, just to kind of like represent
that would be
I don't like that.
So like the
fun.
paladin happens to now also have one level in wizard, assuming it doesn't completely break his entire kit, which I don't see why it would.
Yeah.
But that could be kind of cool of like, you learn the words, you know what the spell components are. You don't know much about it, but enough to get by as level 1, maybe.
Yeah.
Or even you let them choose one skill from their cantrips.
Yeah,
So all of a
that could
sudden
be cool
you
too.
choose one of their cantrips or something. Just like, I get what you're saying. Like some sort of reward
For
that
learning
benefits
it,
from that side of it.
The sorceress
That
can
could be
now rage once per day or whatever because she was the barbarian, a raging
Yeah, that could
sorceress.
be
Yeah.
interesting too. A unique reward for sure.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Perfect.
I'm
So
just gonna
so
yoink
you go
that
through-
real quick.
Yep. Write it down.
play with the verticality of it. Bounce around. I think that'd be a lot of fun. From there, they fork. If we're going back to the map, they fork.
They what?
They fork.
Yeah, yo, PG-13 dungeons, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, they fork either north or south. So the south one, you want that to be freaking dangerous feeling. You don't want them to go to the south one. I originally had kind of a different idea when I started this, where it's like kind of back and forth, but like, no, you want them to go north. And even if they go south, there's going to be kind of like a dead end. I'll talk about them more in a minute. Because you want them to go north first. The north one's going to feel like this nice, safe, happy-go-lucky. The south one's going to be feeling oppressive. And you could put a barrier there if you want to as well, if you don't want to deal with the second barrier built up. I put like a little squiggly lines because I was saying like, you could put like a Atreyu, never-ending story, sand pit, tar pits kind of situation that just keep people from going there. I don't know. But you want people to go north first. Again, the reason there's a fork, I was going for a different thing at first, but I changed midstream. Again, we're trying to be quick about this. So, 21 minutes. So you go north, you explore. It's very much everything does feel off. This whole thing feels very dreamlike. You start seeing these big mushrooms, and it's kind of like it's a dense forest, but it's kind of like dreamlike and funky, not quite right. You get up north, and then you get this opening there, and you see this this witch. It's not a witch. Excuse me, I gave it away. It's a little hut.
And totally not a witch at all.
What's
Totally
in
not
it?
a witch. Totally not a witch.
What did you say?
No, what? No, I don't. You get this little hut, and it's this nice little hut. Nothing too crazy. It's not like it doesn't look abandoned. It looks like it's probably somewhat used, but not like there's no fire going. There's no activity. It's not like it's warm still. Like it honestly kind of the vibe you can probably go for is like those mountain cabins they have for people that are hiking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can go with those kind of like hiker cabins where they're probably used, but it might have been 2 weeks, 3 weeks since it's been used, or yesterday. You just don't know because people just kind of leave it as is. So now you can kind of test out how your players are, and you're going to know your players at this point. So most of the time they're going to knock. Nobody answers. They knock. Nobody answers. And when nobody answers, what are they going to do? They're going to walk in.
Break in.
They're just going to go in
Yeah.
because our players are our players, and we
Players
love them,
are little criminals.
They are little criminals because we're programmed by video games to just walk in and break pots.
To
So
be little
they walk in.
criminals.
Just gotta do it.
So they walk in and they get into the witch's house, which is now posted in there now. You're not gonna be able to tell what it is, but that is what I drew up for the witch's house. So you walk in, on the bottom left, there's a nice little table. There's a kitchen in the back left. There's in the middle, that's supposed to be a little fireplace. It's not on. There's a cauldron there, but no fire. On the right, bottom right, there's a bed. And then top right, that's like a back door. Bring some attention to this back door. They're going to start exploring. They're going to walk around, and then they're going to see, if you look at the bed, there's a little magazine sticking out. And it's going to look like a little nudie magazine, something you'd find under a teenage boy's bed, something that shouldn't be there. They're going to open it up, though, and it's going to be like devil worshipping. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a bad book. It's going to be
this could have gone many different ways.
Yeah,
the fucking
okay, I can deal with that kind of bad.
suspense was just
the silence before you said what it was a little too long.
yeah. I was like, it turns out this nudie mag.
It's some
They're
fucked up
worshiping
shit,
Satan.
dude.
I know. Thank God it's just devil worship. But yeah, it's going to be whatever the devil is in your setting. It's going to be, very occult. And you're going to drop it and freak out, and you're going to turn around, and the witch is going to be right there. The witch that's not a witch, but it's a witch. The witch is right there. She's like, excuse me, what are you doing, Goldilocks?
That's my Playboy.
Yeah.
And so they're going to freak out. And the reason I brought up the door is if they try to bolt for it. Because you have kind of a couple options here. You can fight her, you can run, or you can try to talk your way out of it. Again, I love having these, actual options to do it. So if they try to run, they're going to run through that door. It's going to pop back at the beginning. And it's going to just, every time they try to run, it's going to pop up back at the first, the front door.
Oh, the front door, not the grove. Okay.
Yep. You're just going to run right back into that same room. It's going to be the Scooby-Doo effect. Now, if you want to, you can make it so after like the fourth time you actually do leave. I think it's kind of lame, but you can. If they want to fight her, she's going to suck to fight. My goal is for them not to fight. Like, you want her to be approachable, angry, very angry, because she just found intruders in her house, but approachable. She's not necessarily like the worst person, but she's just kind of
a devil worshiper, but you are in her house. So like, who's really in the wrong here?
Exactly. And we all have hobbies, right?
God forbid a girl have hobbies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't judge her.
Do you have a warrant?
Yeah.
Exactly. Agatha didn't invite you into her house.
Fucking
right?
feds.
So she's going to be approachable, but she is going to be very angry and make her intimidating. So if they fight her, they can. But it's going to suck, and you're going to have stuff come to life. The pot's going to come to life. The kitchen's knives are going to come out. You're going to have to fight minions. You're going to have to fight. It's going to suck. But it's always fun fighting a witch because you can fight some really messed up stuff. Or again, talk your way out of it. Now, when you talk your way out of it, there's two directions you can go. You can just basically beg for it, and she doesn't really like you. She's not really impressed by you, but like she just kind of pities you and just throws you out, or you piss her off, but she's like, fine, I still mad at you, out. Or if you charm her, like really charm her, then she leaves and she's much happier with you, and she could even reward you. She has no problem like helping you along your way and treating you nicely versus screw you, get out of here, leave. So if she's mad at you and she throws you out, she's going to teleport you back to the beginning of the whole thing, the whole glitch.
Oh,
and maybe have some sort of penalty.
That's
you get
mean.
hurt, whatever. Exactly.
that's
It's not really
mean.
that. If you really look at the map, it's not that bad. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it could be worse.
But she does, when she does that. So either way, you're going to get. Oh, and I forgot to mention, in the first glade, after the end of it, you actually found part of a little MacGuffin. It's a little, like a twig, but it sticks out. Sticks out twig, haha. But it's like part of a twig that you found after that first big encounter. And with her, whether you fight her, you're going to find it. If she's mad at you, she's going to throw it at you and teleport you back to the beginning. If she's happy with you, she's going to hand it to you nicely. It's going to be this kind of mushroom-looking deal. That's the second part of the MacGuffin. So either way, whether you leave peacefully or not so peacefully, she's going to give you the second part of the MacGuffin. You put those together, that's the key,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
You need the key. Then you work, and she's going to give you the direction to go back south. So you go back down south, and you're going to now take the south fork, because that's the only other place to go, because there's nowhere else you can go in that top area. Once you get there, you're going to get to this room, you're going to enter in it. In the middle of it, there's going to be a rubber ducky or a wood ducky, some sort of ducky. On the left-hand side, so the northern side, there's going to be running water, and the south side, there's going to be rock face. You're going to take that duck. This is the puzzle. As you walk towards the water, it's going to become more clear. As you walk towards the rock, it's going to turn more rock, like kind of turn into a rock and get heavier.
Mm-hmm.
If you walk into the water, the second the duck touches the water, it disappears and reappears back in the middle.
Okay.
If you take it down south, and I'll be honest, I wanted to make this a really cool puzzle. I ran out of time, so it's kind of a lame puzzle.
It's a puzzle with a rubber duck. I'm sold.
Yeah, no, I'm sold
It was.
too.
I wanted to make a really cool puzzle, but I just ran it. This is like this is literally like 45 seconds left at this point. So I walked it over. But if you walk it over to the stone, it gets really, really heavy. But if it comes in contact with the stone, it lights up a way, and it cracks in the stone, and it opens up a keyhole. You combine the stick you got with the first encounter with the mushroom you got from the second, turns into a key. You turn the lock. The lock takes you back to the initial tavern with the charming gnome.
And then you kick his
Here's
ass.
where you can.
Yeah, then you beat
Huh?
the shit
Well,
out of him.
And then you just kick the shit out of him, and that's the reward for the dungeon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, my thing is the reward for the dungeon is the breadcrumb to your overarching story. So, you can give him a little item here, but this is where you can, again, final option. You can either fight him and he turns into like something like a dragon or something, whatever you want to do.
Fuck.
Again, ran out of time.
Yeah,
So,
really go.
Turn him into something big, or again, talk your way through it. And either way, it will lead to the breadcrumb for the next part of your quest.
So this is definitely like the start of your campaign.
Well, or middle. This could be like
in
near the
between
beginning
arcs.
or middle.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, this is going to lead to the next arc or the next MacGuffin in your arc. But because the reward is the breadcrumbs here, because they were like, this is just kind of like they got sidetracked on the way. But and you could even go with like the hey, he was actually a shapeshifter and he was helping you the whole time. He just wanted to test you, whatever, but you can talk your way out of it or just talk your way through it. And if you stay steady, like, hey, I was just testing you or helping you, or I just like to play tricks on you, or F you, I was trying to say, I was trying to get rid of you.
How did you live?
Or again, you fight him. Yeah. You can have it be a talking thing. You can fight him. You can treat that however you want to, but at the end it does lead to breadcrumbs. And you can tell because if you look at the top of the map, you see there's bread and little dots, and it says BC because they are breadcrumbs.
All right.
Not because they're before Christ.
I was trying to think of
Exactly.
something to do with BC, like some other meaning for it, but everything I was coming up was bear related and not PG-13. So
Oh, I
Yeah.
know the word.
yeah. It doesn't take much imagination.
It wouldn't happen to be
yeah.
bear cock, would it?
I guess we just need to print the t-shirts now that say that.
Yeah.
It's come up
They get
enough
the
time.
stickers.
It's
come
gonna,
up
that should be
one
the
other
real
time,
mascot.
man.
I think it's come
We're
up in
only on
both other
episode 3.
episodes.
Wait, has it
I think,
really?
I think at some
We
point
might be 3 for
it-
3.
Oh, fuck.
It'll-
Welcome to the Bear Cock Podcast.
Welcome to Dungeon Bear Cock.
Every single time.
We can tell. We can tell we're tired because we're starting to get loopy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We still got one more to
But,
go, too.
Yeah,
I know.
I rank it.
I just realized
come
mine
back
just
with a
took forever,
warrant
but-
out of 10.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's my
I like
dungeon.
it.
Hope
I
you all
like
enjoy
Hell
it.
yeah!
I
I
particularly
like the premise behind it.
Yeah, I like
I do
the swapping character like classes. I think that'd be fun to do for a session of just like see how the other side lives, asshole.
And then you get a feat
Yeah.
out of it, that just gives you like a small cantrip, small one-time use, one per day,
Mhm.
whatever you want to do
Yeah.
for the classes.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's a very
No,
unique
I did like
reward.
that. I didn't. Yeah. I like that one. Yeah, I didn't even talk about that one, but yeah, I did like that one. The you get a little permanent from the. I was just trying to think of a way to kind of twist it, and it is. It's like a one because especially if this is a long campaign, it's nice to have like a one break from, especially from Eldritch Blast every single match.
Yeah. I think,
Alright, cool.
I mean, not to just follow the trend here, but I think the whole 20-minute dungeon thing in concept is probably just a 4 out of 5 mimic sandwiches.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Although
Honestly,
I
I
will
was just gonna
say
give everyone 4
bonus
to 5
points
anyway.
for keeping the asylum wall scribble
Yes,
aesthetic the
yes,
entire
absolutely.
time. I was quite a big
Yeah.
fan of that.
I would be terrified if I was a guard at a prison and I walked in and saw this on the wall.
Yeah, aesthetically,
right
this
right
one's
next
my
to me is-
favorite.
Perfect. I appreciate. I'll let you just look at my notes one day, and you'll just be horrified. You're like, oh, that's just how he writes everything in his life.
This one's got schizophrenic soul to it.
Yep.
I'll take it. Cool. Appreciate it. I mean, I think that leaves us one last dungeon to look at.
Yes, sir.
And
Uno
that
mas.
was-
Yep. My dungeon, first off, most of it is the write-up, which I'll kind of go through as I'm showing you this. But it is the Astral Lighthouse. And I had to redraw the lighthouse 4 times to get something that was as low on the phallic scale as possible. So you're welcome for that.
Oh, now that you say it's still got a bit.
I know. I'm aware. I gave
A
up
bit of
after
that
minute
mushroom
2. I'm like, I only have 21 minutes. I can't spend the whole time drawing a fucking lighthouse. Anyway, so the Astral Lighthouse. I'll read my little synopsis here for you. This ancient lighthouse was constructed as a waypoint for those lost in the astral plane. The structure exists on both the astral and material planes and has a large glowing crystal at the top to guide travelers to it. On the astral plane, this gem's magic can be detected by even novice mages from substantial distances, and when touched, it transfers an individual from the astral plane to the material plane and vice versa. It saved countless lives of those who found themselves stuck among the stars, whether by an experiment gone wrong, malicious magic, a dangerous experiment, or other wild circumstances. However, the point of this whole dungeon delve is the lighthouse's beacon on the astral plane has gone dark. Some court mage got ascending spell casts from the astral plane. A wizard's like, yo, homie, I can't find the fucking light. So he sends the party out to fix it. So,
Okay.
my circular scribblings here, I actually have 2 versions of the material plane one and the astral plane one. They're very similar, but they are different. So this is, instead of just being 4 rooms, it's actually 8 that you have to go through. So, on the first level, when you get in on the material plane side of it, you've got, of course, the stairs going up. You come in this door here, and there's just some miscellaneous furniture, a table in the middle. And then this line here with the stool in front of it is actually a thin crystalline glass sheet that has a bunch of glowing runes on it. That is essentially a diagnostics panel that shows you the, environment here, environment in the astral plane, and the link between the lighthouses. And there's a entire section that is just flashing red runes. Something's not right. You go up the stairs to level 2. And this is a living quarters. You've got lights and magic water fountains, workbenches, a bed. This is just clearly whoever stayed here and maintained the lighthouse. This was the floor that was their room, their quarters. But it is very much abandoned, and there's basically there's a few things worthwhile here, but it seems like they took most of their shit with them. And there's a little journal on the table that will basically say, this is the lighthouse keeper's log. Hey, I'm going to check out what's happening on the astral plane. There's some issues with the diagnostics panel. Clearly, by how dusty things have gotten, that did not go well. You go up to floor 3, and it is a massive library. The shelves are lined with hundreds of dusty tomes, mostly historical, geographical, and things about the arcane and astral plane. Basically just nothing too crazy of worths in the books, but a lot of knowledge in the books. And then on this center table, you will find a handwritten book that is all about lighthouse maintenance and how to keep things going, how to restart a gem if it shuts off, things like that. So that will be very important for the party to get their hands on. And then you get up top here, and this is the obviously viewing platform and where the gem is. The only thing that's of worth up here that's of note is obviously the gem, which is spinning slowly and glowing quite bright. When you touch it, it takes you to the gem in the astral plane lighthouse. Upon arriving here, so you go all the way up and then you have to go back down, you'll find that the gem is not working. If you try to touch it, it does not take you back. You are stuck on the astral plane. You go back down to floor 3, and instead of a library, the room is mostly empty, but the walls are lined with constellations and just runes, and basically it is a chart, a map of the astral plane where you're at, so you can get a bearing if someone finds this and needs to go somewhere else in the astral plane. So clearly this is like, if you're not going back to the material plane, this lighthouse is just meant to be a waypoint for you. I
have a question.
Yes.
Is the astral lighthouse, is that like an original thing you came up with, or is that something that's like established in like D&D stuff?
Oh no, I started my 20 minutes and I was like, lighthouse, okay, what's special about it?
Because I fucking love the idea.
If this already exists, I apologize, but it was not influenced by anything that I know of.
It's vastly inferior if it already exists.
Yes, I accept that, yeah. So the other thing that's odd is when you get here, this top floor is pretty barren. Like there's no threat apparent. You get down to floor 3 and there's nothing threatening that you notice except over by the end of like one of these sketches on the ground, there seems to be a corpse. When you go over to said corpse, it stands up and it is a undead wizard who apparently came to this lighthouse trying to get home and clearly was not able to. And some sort of magic has corrupted him. So you have your little fight with an undead wizard. You go down to floor 2, and instead of just being quarters for like one mage, this is a self-restocking hotel room, basically. Whoever comes to this tower now, they can get food, they can get water, they can rest, and so on and so forth. And there will likely be some other encounter here. I was thinking another, evil, undead, corrupted wizard and his similarly corrupted familiar. You go down the stairs to where the actual meat of the puzzle starts, and you are, because the book tells you have to restart the crystal using the diagnostics panel. You get down here, and instead of the panel being like, oh yeah, press this button and get everything going again, it has been obliterated. And there are the magical conduits that run to it are actively being chewed on by something. In my notes, I literally have astral blank, because I don't know what I wanted to put here, but something like almost imps that are just like crazy and feeding off the magical energy.
When in doubt, put a witch in it.
Yeah, exactly. And a playboy.
Yeah, there we go.
So
exactly.
You have to fight off.
Starting a thing.
You have to fight off these astral whatevers. And you can't restart the crystal with the panel because the panel is destroyed and the conduits are, crackling with arcane energy, exposed. They need repaired. There is over here under a dusty cloth, backup panels, clearly for in case something went haywire. And you will need that to restore full functionality, but right now you just need to get the gem going again. So in that book, there's buried deep within it on the lighthouse maintenance, there is instructions on how to manually restart the gem. And that's the puzzle. You basically have to connect the correct conduits to jumpstart the arcane energy in the lighthouse again, and then go all the way back up to the top of the tower where there would probably be a pretty hefty strength DC of having to manually spin the gem again until it gets enough oomph and starts going on its own.
Mm-hmm.
When that happens, it will flicker out again really quickly as if the magic is being pulled from it, and you will have awakened the astral serpent that is actually the reason this whole place has shut down. A giant serpent.
Leviathan shit.
Yep. This astral leviathan essentially was drawn to the magic of the lighthouse and fed off of it until it shut down. So the gem cannot function while the serpent is here because it just basically heals itself while the magic's there and saps the energy all away. So you then have to go
Mhm.
down and on this like rocky floating island in the middle of the astral plane, fight this astral serpent, then go back up and jumpstart the gem, and you can get out of there. And that's my dungeon.
I fuck with it. I fuck with it real hard.
Yeah, I got to 15 minutes of my time spent on my write up here. And then I was like, I have 6
nice.
minutes to draw the map. So
Honestly,
thing.
I think that's just like a pretty good like example of like how to do it. Where like I focused way too hard on the visuals and it became very bare bones, but like the
Yeah, that's
story
time well
and like
spent.
vibe of the dungeon is so much more important than how the actual physical thing looks.
well, I like the idea of, you know, this super powerful, used by wizards all over the land lighthouse, right? Has to be restarted by some level 3 idiots trying to connect wires on the ground level and then the barbarian up top spinning the thing. To be honest, what the visual in my head was Teal'c from Stargate SG-1 manually spinning the ring on the gate to try to get it to fire up again. If anyone here has
Okay.
watched Stargate, that you'll understand the reference. If not,
I have not.
well, then you need to.
So
It's
it's
such a good show.
I've never seen the movie, but
Yeah.
I have seen the
But
show.
that kind of thing of like just the big strong guy of your party up there spinning this gem and then it eventually going on its own, lighting back up.
Yeah.
So that was my dungeon.
It's a fantastical repair job.
Exactly.
I like it. And it feels very fitting for a level 3 party, you know?
Mhm.
Like it's something cooler than the like go fight rats thing that like low level parties normally do. Like it's an opportunity to go to like another plane, which is something that's normally only ever like reserved for higher level
Right.
parties most of the time.
And the
So,
astral
I don't know, I think
serpent,
it's
I
fun.
think, would be a tough fight, but part of the way I like to approach things on like other planes is they can be really tough for the party, but a low level party can also be pretty tough for them because it's not got defenses for whatever you bring from the material plane. It's not acclimated to taking arrows and lightning bolts. It's used to
Yeah, it didn't evolve for that.
exactly. It's used to the astral plane and the threats that are there. So it's going to
Yeah.
deal some damage, but you could also, in theory, take it down fairly quickly too.
Right.
Yeah, and like this thing also feeds off of like the energy of the crystal too. So it's probably not even adapted to fight. This is like fighting like a whale shark,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, pretty much. It'll still swallow you whole, but that's not what it's meant to do.
Yeah, it's not designed to fuck up a party of adventurers. It needs to do it to survive.
Mhm. And then I also had a cool visual of like these, the rocky island and then these like floating magic lanterns that are all turned off. And when you finally restore power to the lighthouse, they all flick back on. But I didn't portray that very well in my phallic drawing. But that's my dungeon.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do like that you spent so much time in the write up. That's gonna be interesting for people to see too when we share that online because
Yeah, it's just
kinda
gonna
what-
be a
like
time lapse of me typing.
yeah. I mean, that's true. The video might not be that compelling, but the actually reading the contents of it will be compelling for sure. And that's the thing. I did some write up. People see with my one at the end of mine as well, but it was more like big picture.
Yeah.
Sometimes having those more exact notes are helpful though. It can really make a session go smooth.
If I had to do it again, I would definitely copy your formula of like writing out the story and idea behind it and then drawing after. Instead of just improving that shit, I spent so long on just like figuring out how to get tools to work. Where like the big bad evil guy's name is Dwarfaniel, guys.
True.
Like
He's great. He's great. Okay.
I don't get the point you're trying
And
to
it's
make.
one of those things too, like if you have like artists that you like on Patreon or whatever, where you already just get a bunch of like maps, like
Yeah.
creating a narrative and the tokens that fit in the map is something that takes a little bit more brainstorming. If you're like,
and
oh, I want to do
supporting
something
your
cool
local
that's-
artists are good too.
Yeah, that's true. So it's like if you're like, oh, I
Just
want to
doesn't
do
work.
something like a lighthouse theme. I'm sure there's a great lighthouse map, and then the write up will do most of the carrying
Right.
for that
Yeah,
session.
exactly. Also,
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything official about an astral lighthouse in D&D lore, so I'm claiming it.
Oh All
All
right.
right, we're
Kickstarter.
copywriting it and putting it in the bin next
Right
to the
next to the
yeah.
album cart.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, hell
I
yeah.
already did it. I already did it last year, so I claimed it
Oh,
already.
fuck.
So
Ah.
you can pay me for the
All
copyrights
right,
of it.
all right.
Oh damn.
No offense, but yeah, I am gonna have to take that.
Oh,
that,
he's got the
money
LLC
from
and
it,
everything,
so.
huh?
Yeah, if you support the Patreon, all of it goes straight to the legal defense fund of
Yep.
Twisted Pine Tavern.
Yep. And I need it.
And also the prosecution from Bearbard Tales. You're
Yeah,
funding
but
both
yeah,
the
you get both
prosecution
sides.
and the
Oh.
defense.
It does
Um,
look like, and I'm not finding it exactly here, but it looks like their Chipeku might actually have a lighthouse map that is astral themed. So you could totally use that instead of my shitty thing.
Hey, we do love Chewbacca.
or use it as a challenge. Draw up your own.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell
Yeah, quit using us, you lazy bat. I mean, what?
No, please,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah,
It's
you
not the
lazy
theme of the
fucks.
episode or anything.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm so like I think it was great, and I actually love that all four of us genuinely took this to the last minute, and all four ended up very like not just different in like because like obviously there's different, but like the whole structure of each of
They're
ours
very
was
unique.
wildly different.
Yeah.
I mean, the theme was totally different. Like none of us went with like I mean, like Luke came the closest to being like traditional like dungeon, like as far as just like cave, dark, that kind of thing.
True.
But even then, it really wasn't,
it's
And so I love that all
Mhm.
four of these were so wildly different, and it really was for people last minute. Oh crap, I got to do it, for our
Sessions in
theme of
21
crap
minutes.
last minute episode. but it's good. And I know, like you said, like hey, next time I would do it that way. But that's kind of cool because already with just the four of us, we've kind of picked things up from each other. Of that's kind of cool. I like that idea. And so I like that's awesome to me, and that's kind of what that's the point of the whole
Mhm.
thing is to see what you can do and how creative you can be. Obviously, pay artist, you can pay an artist and go further into it, but that's not the point. The point was that it is all last minute, and that you can come up with something cool last minute. Even when you are all wiped and everything there. So
Yeah.
I'm super stoked. I mean, I thought I was really cool. I loved hearing your guys' ideas and seeing those kind of play
Yeah,
out that way.
likewise.
Yeah,
And
it was a fun little exercise. I'd be totally down to do it again.
yeah, for sure. We could do
Yeah.
themed ones at some
Like
point.
in a future
Yeah, yeah.
episode.
And also,
yeah.
remember, everyone, additional homework is to finish fleshing out your dungeon so we can put that on Patreon. Click the link in the description
Woo!
and give us money.
Money, please.
Specifically so we can.
It's mainly going to the
God.
editor.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
the
say,
artist,
just to
too,
pay-
yeah.
pay-
I say we don't
yeah,
see any of it
yeah.
yet.
Look, they deserve
this
a
is
raise for
100%
the shit
going.
that we're throwing their way. So,
help
yeah.
provide for the people who actually have creative talent,
yeah.
not
yeah,
us.
yeah.
Yeah, we're just dumbass YouTubers who have ideas. Cringe.
Cringe.
Sad.
Cringe.
Cringe.
Hashtag cringe.
All right.
Oh, we didn't give a sandwich score for
Oh,
Zills.
yeah.
4 to 5
Yeah,
minute sandwiches.
I give it a yoink out of 5 mimic sandwiches
That's the highest of praise.
Wow.
because I'm
too.
stealing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just say definitely the highest rated. I think for Bearbard we just made up a new system too. It was like something out of 10. So
Oh yeah.
if I'm 100% honest, I was just going to give everyone 4 to 5
Yeah.
anyway, even if someone came up with a bad one. It was all going to be 4 to 5.
Well, that's what we did for Drake. His was
Ah.
pretty shit. And we gave him 4 out of 5. So.
Mine was pretty ass.
No, I actually do like the idea
Honestly,
of
though,
infiltrating
like-
an airship. I think that's badass.
I think it's dope, especially as a way, because again, that's what I was saying. Like, it genuinely is, you can fit these in different parts of a
Mhm.
campaign. You absolutely could, and all these could fit into one campaign, just in different spots of it,
Oh, yeah.
Zills could literally just be like a, hey, we're trying to, Loot could literally just be a, hey, we're trying to arm up. Let's do this kind of side contest. You could be, hey, this is how we actually get the air, the Zeppelin for our next, part of the campaign where they actually go
Mhm.
and explore and have an airship.
A little home
Mine's
base.
the breadcrumb that leads you to the next little piece. And Zills can fit literally any part of that. Where like, hey, that could be, they could turn that into a home base for themselves, or you could turn it into, another breadcrumb piece, or just
Or
side
even just a
content,
way
right?
like,
So
hey,
they-
we need to get to the astral plane for this next part of our adventure. Oh, hey, look at this. There's a quest taking us to the astral plane.
Yeah.
and that's our end. Yeah. Yeah, again, they all four of these can easily fit in to a campaign, and you just twist it slightly for here, brush this off, add take off the bear, add my stuff, take off the Drake, add in my stuff, and put it in there. So I
Yeah.
think it was good. The airship airships are always fun, and there's a lot you could do with it. Throwing people off the sides and go full James Bond 007 with it.
Hell yeah.
So I think all of them were varying levels and again very very different, which I think is great that I'm glad we didn't come up with like the same thing.
Yeah, if we all had like the same exact idea, just drawn in our own different ways. Which again, for future episodes could be cool to see how we take that. Like if we say we have 21 minutes to design an airship, just for example, and seeing how we all take that to be a unique battle map could be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, that'd be more specific. So, all right, yo, I think that's about time for us to get back moving. Yeah, I appreciate y'all coming here. I think this is a really fun episode. I think this is a fun format going forward too. I love seeing it all go forwards, going these directions, and I'm excited to see them all cleaned up and thrown onto the Patreon for these fine folks. So before we go, just keep in mind, these are 4 great channels here, at least 3 great channels, and then mine that are out there for you to go take a look at. Make sure you check out, all these 4 channels. We also do have that Patreon that we've plugged once or twice or 10 times by now. Definitely check that out. I think we're really going to try to feed into that one, so it's going to be a lot of fun. But definitely check out these channels. These are 3 super talented, creative, awesome people. So you can definitely get a lot of fun and enjoyment and time painting and walking and whatever in while listening to them. So we're going to take off. We will see y'all next week. We appreciate you. Y'all have a great night.
Also, we did pay Bear for all that glazing us up there at the end. So
yes,
yeah,
he is my sweet Pookie Bear, but he did not do that for free.
No, go to the Patreon to support us paying Bear for compliments.
And the ongoing
lawsuit between me and Bear.
All right. Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Dope. It's almost like we're a real production.